homes and salons, the biggest mistake made consistently and constantly is washing and shampooing matted hair. www.hairdetanglerschool.com. Only use the dry matted hair detangler called Takedown Remover Detangler Cream.
How to detangle difference in matted black hair versus tangled white hair. The biggest difference in detangling tangled black hair versus matted white hair, matted Indian versus tangled African, tangled Asian hair versus matted mixed hair, tangled curly versus matted straight, tangled fine versus matted thick is the way matted tangled hair detangling is done. Curly hair can be easier because the hair winds around itself. So just follow the curl pattern. Straight hair is sometimes a little more tougher. However, the biggest difference between all types of matted tangled hair textures or black versus white hair is who does it. Most stylists or hairdressers will worry, focus on or complain about the difference in matted tangled knotty black hair versus white hair. A professional hair detangler is confident and will not be bothered with the hair type. Hair type does not matter to them. They are trained on the art of compacted hair, detangle techniques, and intricacies of matted hair knots and tangles. Hairdressers must know the difference in detangling matted black hair versus tangled white hair. One of the main tools they should be familiar with is how to use the dry hair detangler product called Takedown Remover Detangler for matted tangled hair. Visit us today for more information. www.hairdetanglerschool.com. Help at hairdetanglerschool.com. +1 206 600 3036 message helpline.
Look at these pictures. This is a picture of a dreadlock that's from black hair. Look at it. Looks all clumped together. Now look at the picture of a matted clump of white hair. Dreadlock can't even tell. Looks like same dreadlock. You wouldn't even know unless you saw the face. You wouldn't even be able to tell. Is it white hair, black hair? Look at this long dreadlock that's down this lady's back. That's black hair. Look at the one that's behind here. This lady is Indian. Her dreadlock looks just like the black hair. You wouldn't be able to tell. You would look at the texture and say, oh, maybe the texture's a little different, but it's the same thing. The dreadlock looks the same. So we try to tell people there's not a big difference in how the matted dreadlocks look or their texture. It's all locked up hair, whether you're white, black, Indian, Asian. However, it's just when you're starting to unravel, you see, okay, the hair texture is a little bit different, but the process is still the same. You still need to use a takedown remover cream. This is a serious matted dreadlock. You know, it's interesting because when hair is locked, you know, you have beautiful locks where people have their hair locks and they purposely, you know, train their hair to lock. It looks beautiful. You have maybe 100 or, 50 different strands of locked hair. But when the hair is locked like this, it's so dreadfully depressing that people don't even look at the fact that what race you are. They look at the fact that, oh my God, you didn't even comb your hair. They look at you the same way. People look at you the same way when your hair is locked like this with a dreadlock where it's all matted together and clumped. You're viewed the same way. People don't even discriminate. Nobody discriminates. They just say your hair looks dreadfully horrible.
This is day 2. We had a very tight knot on top and we let it soak overnight so it can be loosened up some. And we're trying to loosen it up. It's still pretty painful at times, but you're loosening it up slowly. Gotta have a lot of patience, a lot of prayer and hope, and to just keep to it, because they're doing a hard work that I can't even see, but I can feel. And so, let me just kind of hope that it comes out okay, and that I guess I know I'll have some hair loss, but it won't be where I have to chop it off all the way. So, and that's the goal. To hopefully be able to grow it back to its thick full and everything after all this.
Now these are dreadlock rolls, which are quite interesting. When the hair is kind of rolled up into a dreadlock or matted clump, or as in the case of these pictures as well, where the hair strands form like different webs of dreadlocks. So you can put your fingers in between it and it looks like some kind of V structure. The same happens with white hair and black hair. As you can see in these pictures, same thing, looks the same. The hair does the same. It does not matter. In these pictures where the hairs are rolled together in a clump. Look at the black hair. This other lady is Asian. Her hair is Asian. It has the same kind of roll, dreadlock roll. Then you have another lady here who's blonde. She's white. Same type of dreadlock roll lump. And the rolls look the same. It's just a matted clump. How the hair just mats on itself and rolls. It's just so amazing. But it's in every hair texture. It can happen. So there's no difference. You still need to use a pintail comb to take your time and gently take the hair out strand by strand, and the takedown remover product. Look at the Indian lady's hair with the matted roll. It's just a roll that pokes out. But it's just amazing how the hair is, and we try to tell people there's really no big difference in black hair versus white hair when it's matted together. But when it's detangled, that's when you can start to see, okay, there's a difference how I need to pull the strands out. There's a difference in how we need to detangle this. But the hair looks the same. You can lift it up, all the hair looks the same.
So this is day 2 of them working on my hair. Whew, it's been quite painful today, more than I imagined that it probably would be, but just being able to see all the hair that's gotten out today that never was able to be accomplished before is just such a blessing to see. And I'm just holding true to the scriptures on a woman's hair and just keeping the faith and just calling out the name Jesus to help me with the pain. And I'm just so thankful that we're seeing progress, and I look forward to it being completed.
Finally, the long-awaited day has come. You are getting your matted hair professionally detangled. As you can see with this client, the matted mass covers her whole head. It is a clump of knots and matted bun of sorts. The whole process took 2 days, and it was a bit painful for her. But with patience, perseverance, and pushing past the pain with prayer, she made it with joy. Thank God, you too will not have to wait 3 to 5 years to have your lovely long hair grow back, because shaving off or cutting all your lovely hair can be painful as well. Remember Luke 1, verse 37. In this client's case, on the first day, we have to really soak her hair with the Takedown Recover Cream, so as to begin to soften the hair. Finding a way to start can be a challenge for many people, but as you can see, we strongly massage the hair as we find a way into the clump. Although strands of hair do begin to slide out, we will still...
Black hair versus white hair. What are the differences when detangling? That's a big question that most people, most stylists want to know. Is there a big difference? Or if this detangler or this hairdresser can detangle black hair, can they detangle my hair? I have Caucasian hair. I have a mixed texture hair, or I'm Indian, I'm Asian. I'm Hispanic. My hair is wavy, etc. I have 4C, 3C, 2C, 1C hair. I don't know, Well, really, if you think about matted hair, a dreadlock is just hair that's locked up together. That's why it's called dreadlocks. It's this hair that's dreadfully locked together. So whether your hair is white or, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're, Asian, of Asian descent, whether you're Hispanic, whether, you say I'm Indian, I'm not American Indian, I'm from India, my hair is a little bit different. It does not matter. A matted clump of hair that's dreadfully locked, that's causing you depression, does not matter to a hairdresser that's been trained to detangle hair professionally. It's just, they just see it as matted hair. They just see it as hair that's dreadlocked together in a clump. So there is no difference. The only difference is that, okay, the hair might be curly, it might be wavy, it might be straight, it might be fine, it might be kind of, very curly, kinky, it might be, have a mixed texture, and then you have people that are using certain type of medications and their hair is like two different textures. It's weird sometimes. Or you might have someone who's just coming out of pregnancy, who's going through postpartum, and their hair is kind of different. We have people that are coming out of comas and their hair is just not the same. But it does not matter really what race you are. It doesn't even matter really what texture your hair is. The key is that when it's matted, it doesn't matter whether you're black or white, so to speak. It's just a dreadful clump that all the hair is locked and stuck together. Now, the issue that most people face, or the fear that most people face, is that, oh, I'm going to pull too hard. Is my hair going to break? Is it going to pop from the root? Well, that's a legitimate fear when your hair is kind of stuck together. However, for professional hair detangler, it's all the same. The only difference is when you're detangling white hair versus black hair, Indian hair versus maybe somebody who's from China who's Asian, their hair, or someone who might have a mixed texture of hair, they're mixed, or, whether you're detangling someone who's Hispanic, their hair might be wavy, or, or someone, like I said, who's from India, whose hair is very thick and curly and wavy. The only difference you might have, where there would be this versus that type of hair, is how the hairdresser or professional hair detangler approaches picking through the strands. That's where there could be a difference of this hair versus that hair. And we'll try to show you that, but at the same time, you still have to be very cautious. Our technique is a strand by strand technique, so that really is the key when detangling very severely matted hair.
But a standard stylist or hairdresser will focus on the differences in types of hair. Also, they will be limited by their knowledge of training on black hair, white hair, and any type of hair. And they may become frustrated with a hair type that is unfamiliar to them. They will not feel confident enough in detangling several types of matted hair. Let me hold it.
Most hairstylists or hairdressers will notice or complain about the difference in matted, tangled, knotty hair, whether it's black hair versus white hair or Asian hair versus mixed hair. But a professional hair detangler is very confident. They've been trained, and they're not bothered with the hair type because matted hair does not discriminate. Hair type does not matter to them. They're trained in the art of the hair being compacted and matted together and clumped together. They're trained in specific detangle techniques for all types of matted knots, tangled knots, not hair textures per se. Professional hair detanglers are also trained and confident because they understand the intricacies of matted hair knots and tangles. The biggest difference in detangling white hair versus black hair, curly hair versus straight hair, fine hair versus thick hair, mixed textured hair versus Asian hair, or Indian hair, versus African hair. The biggest differences in detangling different types of hair textures is the way it's done. Curly hair can sometimes be a little easier because the hair kind of just winds around itself, so it's easier to try to follow the curl pattern. Straight hair sometimes is a little bit tougher, but the biggest difference between black hair versus white hair and all different types of hair textures when detangling, the biggest difference is who does it. If you've got someone that's trained to detangle hair versus just a regular hairstylist, there's going to be a big difference when they're detangling the hair. They'll be able to say, okay, there is a big difference between black hair versus white hair. But if you have a professional hair detangler detangling the hair, it doesn't matter to them because they're trained on the art and the technique and the intricacies of matted hair, tangled hair, knots, hair that's compacted together. But your standard stylist or hairdresser won't see it that way. They'll say, oh, I don't know how to do black hair. I don't know how to do white hair. I don't know how to do Asian hair. I don't know how to do curly hair or straight hair or fine hair. Oh, I don't really know how to do that kind of hair. Because they're not trained on understanding the difference, the important differences in matted hair versus just a shampoo tangle or a small matted knot from the shampoo bowl. So that's the difference when you hire a professional hair detangler. You get someone who's been trained. That way they won't see a difference. They won't say, oh, detangling black hair versus white hair is easier. Asian hair versus Indian hair is easier. African hair versus a mixed hair texture is easier or harder. It doesn't matter. It's all hair. And there's blood that runs through the scalp of every type of hair texture. So it doesn't matter what kind of hair you have. It's just the technique that the stylist uses that makes the difference.
The biggest difference in detangling black hair versus white hair, Indian hair versus African hair, Asian hair versus mixed hair, curly hair versus straight hair, and fine hair versus thick hair is the way it's done. Curly hair can be easier hair because it always winds around itself, and it can be easy to follow the curl pattern. Straight hair is a little bit more tougher, but the biggest difference between all types of hair textures or black hair versus white hair is who does it.